Comedy radio show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Day.
We are having so much fun, and we know you're going to love our next guest. His name is Tony Walker, and he is a comedy guy. Comedy cures everything. So.
Absolutely. I had cancer at the age of 32, and I do believe that the laughter and the positive attitude got me through it just as much as the medications did, which led to the comedy troupe that I run called Knockem Dead Comedy. We do dinner theater, murder mysteries, game shows, kid shows. We're not stand-up or anything like that, just comedy shows, variety shows.
So you go to restaurants and where else? Like theaters?
Restaurants, private parties, corporate events, fundraisers. Did I say fundraisers?
Fundraisers, firehouse.
Comedy shows, they're murder mysteries, they're audience participation. It's a scripted show because there's clues and hints that have to go out, but it's not a don't blink or you'll miss something. It's not Agatha Christie.
Right.
It's a comedy. It's lighthearted, but one of the characters does get killed,
right.
And then the audience has to figure out who did it and why. And if it's a private party or a corporate event, we personalize it to fit their event.
Now, do you ask the audience for help with the mysteries? Or
Yeah, they solve it.
All by themselves.
Based on what they saw during the show, we even give them a little section where they can interrogate the suspects.
Oh, that's
fun.
fun.
So we'll deflect, deny, point fingers at other characters, but everybody makes the rounds throughout the whole room and talks to people.
The show is guaranteed. It's 100% guaranteed fun.
Totally.
Everywhere we go, everybody loves that show.
The audience just get so involved, and there's just such a part of the show, and that makes it even better.
Other things that you do aside from mystery.
we do game shows. The game show, we have a podium with lights and buzzers and sounds, and it's basically a trivia game show, or it could be, again, we ad-lib with that too. So they may want a trivia game show, but if we show up and they're a loud, boisterous group and they're a lot of fun, we could ask them to do funny physical challenges or do some karaoke or whatever, or name that tune, whatever we feel like doing, and they'll be willing to do. We'll take it there.
What movie introduced the phrase, "There's no crying in baseball"?
Oh, wait.
What letter comes after A? Go ahead. B is correct!
Is there a favorite skit that you do that just still cracks you up every time you do it?
We do a lot of audience participation murder mystery shows, comedic murder mystery shows. And there's two shows. We have a mob show. We're in New York. You have to have the mob shows. And we have a redneck wedding, which is just
I have to come see that one.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Anytime. In fact, I even brought you a shirt.
Growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, I have to say, you did?
Of course I did. That you will wear everywhere you go. In fact, I have a whole bunch. I'm giving one out to everybody.
Everywhere I go. Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Oh, that's great.
Can I
Knockem Dead
pretend I'm
Comedy.
drinking something here?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pretend like you're drinking something.
I'm having fun on the set.
We actually do put water in it when guests ask,
Just
we
not
do. But
this
if you
guest,
if you don't ask ahead of time, wait, this one's full of water. You ready?
Nice.
1, 2, 3. All right, there you go.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
This is Cubs Radio.
Cubs Radio.
Okay, we'll just do that for right now.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
3-2 to Mookie.
Knockem Day. Knockem Day. Comedy show.
Ricky Ricardo. Were you doing Ricky Ricardo?
Babaloo! Oh, no, definitely not.
That hurt.
Yeah, that definitely hurt.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. It's Monday. It's April
4th.
May the
Fourth.
April 4th be with you.
4th.
April 4th, welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. That is the name of the YouTube channel. That's where we want you to be. That's where we're going to interact with you guys, just like Beansy. Why else would we start off our week? Why would we start off our week with you? Sallie, yes, but you. Thank you, Beansy. That guy needs a smack in the face. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast. We are coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, where you will see this weekend Nikki Smiggs on Friday, Judy Gold on Saturday, John Ziegler taping a comedy special on May 21st. The Giggle Room has all sorts of great stuff going on this weekend. And, of course, Terry McNeely and Chris Cassandro on May 6th. Joe Pontillo and Brian McGinnis on May 21st. And I believe I'm on that bill also. The Brokerage in Belmore has Mike Burton this weekend. And, of course, out there in Bohemia, McGuire's, they have some great shows set up out there as well. Go to govs.com, check out their full schedule, and make your reservations for a great comedy show today. That's done. Please like and share our show.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay. Please like and share our show. You can copy the link and share it on all your social media pages. You can hit the thumbs up on the YouTube channel. And just tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, including this one, Knockem Dead Comedy. We're live right now. But all the great shows. There's lots of great shows, including two tonight. Steve Squared in the Work with Mike, Pete, and Steve. That's tonight. Great stuff. Of course, if you like to do your own podcast, maybe you're saying to yourself, wow, that Gov's Comedy Club podcast, that looks like fun. They're at Governor's Comedy Club. That's really cool.
Look, I have all the mirrors or the cameras all like wonky. They're like all. I think someone maybe Saturday night fell into them or something. Look how they are.
Well, they were fine during the show, but yeah, after the show, I'm sure people knocked into them.
People like put on their jackets and like walk into them.
But don't worry, because the cameras will be set up perfectly for when you do
absolutely
your video, your podcast, whatever it is you want to do. You want to do a podcast on our station, stream with us, or if you want to do your own podcast, you can record it in here. You need to do any kind of video, you can record it in here, or maybe some audio. We can hook you up with that too. We can do both at the same time. Whoa. We got cameras and microphones and lights and phones and Zoom and TVs and people, and it's a lot of fun.
We got people?
What?
We got people?
We got people. Contact us, Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. That's the name of the Facebook page. Message us through that page, and we'll set you up. Yeah, and get in touch with us. We'll hook you up with a good deal. All right. So, speaking of governors and all the great shows here, I'm going to get right into this. Already there's a comment. The first comment from Fresh News 247. Imagine trying to eat with all those effers getting in your face. All right, well, because you played the Knockem Dead comedy video before we got started here. Fresh News, I don't know who you are. My guess is it's some kind of fake account. But I will let you know, anyway, that at Knockem Dead Comedy, we do not get in your face while you're eating.
Yeah, actually, we don't even start the show to most people until the plates are, taken away.
Correct.
It's like dinner and a show.
There are some...
Obviously, hasn't been to your show.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, don't comment on something you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You no good. You're old news 247. You're rotten news 247.
Weird information news 247.
Yeah. You're fake news 247.
That was awful.
Fake news.
Awful.
I never claimed that I could do. Let me hear yours.
No, I'm going to leave it to John.
John Santo?
Yep.
He does a perfect
He's a
one.
rock star.
Yes, he is. So, Fresh News, you have bad news. You're not good news. So, shut up.
You say news a lot.
News. And speaking of which, we'd like to thank everybody that came out this past Friday.
It was a great night.
It was a super great night.
So many people there. So it was, difficult for you guys to get around everyone. But it was.
We made it work.
The whole building was that everyone was coming out of the other shows saying, "What's all the laughing going on?"
Yeah, there were lots of people that were peeking in
I'm like, "Get out of here! I'm working, man."
Yeah. I don't know how you run your shows 24/7, says Jerry Lane. Yeah, that would be hard to do. Yeah, people coming from other areas of the club to see what was going on.
Other comics coming in to see what was going on.
Tim Gage.
I love Tim Gage.
Tim Gage had he was not performing Friday night, so he was hanging around here, and
but he's so supportive. He comes out to see everyone.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going with this. Yeah, he's always supportive of us in this room. Whenever he's hanging out at the club, but he's not performing, even when he is performing, he spends most of his night in here.
Yeah.
This past Friday, he wasn't
us.
performing, but he spent most of the night watching our show. Every time I talked to him, first thing I was about, these people are having a blast.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Tim, we're having a good time.
Yeah. We have to do more shows.
But
here.
he looked genuinely impressed.
Yeah, honestly, when we first got together and you told me you did murder mysteries, I was like, because if you've ever been stuck going to one at if your corporation has that as a fundraiser or something, and you're like, oh man, it's so cheesy. They walk in, the actors have never met each other. They have a book that they work off of. There's no you guys. There's
We're the complete
music
opposite.
and dancing, and you involve all the people, and they love it. They just love it. And the first time that I saw your show, I actually prayed a little bit to baby Jesus that I would like it, because I didn't want to say, oh, it was cheesy. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
What was the noise?
My butt. I don't know.
Oh, that was your phone?
Yeah, just telling me I got a message.
I never heard that noise come out of you before.
You've heard a lot of noises coming out of my butt. But anyway, so you guys are fantastic at what you do.
Thanks,
and not
baby.
everyone can do it. I've actually seen people audition for you at and this says a lot. I'm sure you're going to get to BOSI. But this says a lot about BOSI, because there's been people that have come to you that are either actors or comedians, and they want to do it and they try out. And sometimes you're like, I don't think.
And it's not a knock to them as an actor.
It isn't.
There are plenty of talented people that have come to attempt to work with us.
And difficult.
It's just it's not your traditional theater show.
And then,
so it's a different monster.
And then I've seen other comics and actors come in and be like, I'm good at a lot of things. I don't think I'd be able to do this. I thought I could, but what you people do, I don't think I can do. And so I've seen it both. And I've seen, I've actually said, oh, why don't you ask that person? They're really funny. And you say, but they have no acting experience, and I'm not. This isn't this isn't a place where people learn how to be an actor. They have to like hit the ground running. And then every once in a while, you ask someone who you just have a gut feeling about, and that was Bosie, man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'll follow through with the Bosie point in a second, but the follow up on what you were saying a few minutes ago. Yeah, I've checked out a lot of dinner theater companies, and I'm the first to admit when I first got started doing it myself, because I worked for a company in the 90s, and then I started doing it myself. And yeah, we're talking, over 20 years ago, and we had growing pains in the beginning. We had to learn as we went. We had to learn a little bit. But now, yeah, and I've been saying it for years, I do truly believe that we're the best at what we do.
Yeah,
you
really are.
We get very talented people. We're constantly tweaking the scripts, even now. I mean, scripts that are 20-something years old, still throwing something new in there or maybe removing something. and we just have a great time. Our audiences love it. We haven't had a bad show in years and years.
You guys are so smooth and so funny that like most people think it's 20, like maybe 40% improv, and it's like 95% script. But no one knows it because you guys are so. Everyone once in a while someone has like a great ad lib, and that's always wanted and needed, and please do that. But 95% of it is just scripted, where no one knows that everyone knows those lines.
We take it very seriously, and the shows it's hard work, but the putting it all together, making it happen. But the show itself, getting out there in front of the audience and laughing with them, that's the fun part. That's the payoff. And to me, I feel validated when a guy like Tim Gage looks and says, "Wow, this looks like a great time."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, all right, we're doing something right now because they like it." Yeah. So it was great.
Because he did have this shocked look on his face. Well, because it's just the reputation of a murder mystery. It's kind of like you're going to date someone. You're like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "I'm a magician." You're like, "Oh no." Not that. Yeah. So, you guys are fantastic. Like the songs that play and the people they freaking love it. So anyway, they absolutely loved it the other night.
All right. Jerry Lahane's got to go already. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
And DJ's watching. Hello, DJ.
Hey, DJ saw.
DJ
he came out.
DJ was here.
Got to see DJ D Love that night.
DJ D Love and some friends, his posse, they were here. They enjoy. Oh, so let me do that. Thank you, DJ, and your friends for coming. Thank you, Don Sill and Wendy for coming. Dom DeBarry and his father, Joe.
Eileen
and her friends. Eileen Simone and her friends. I think that's...
And everyone else who just came out, who gave it a shot. Because it's easy to give like a stand-up comic a shot if you want to go out for a night. But it's... and I had to go back twice for business cards because people wanted to book you. I don't know if I told you, but I had to give them business cards. They want to book it for their own company. So that says that screams of,
the show was
how great it is.
The show was sold out, and we turned, last time I counted, we had to turn 21 people away.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's because it was just sold out. There was absolutely no room left.
Hopefully they'll come out again.
Yes, and hopefully we'll play it in a bigger room next time.
Yeah.
So, Andy Plajanos, KDC is amazing. Everyone in the company is terrific. Thank you, pal. So are you. And I'll get to that too. Andy and I were in here Saturday night. We were in here. And there's Jeff Bosie. He says, "Good morning, everyone."
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, so Sallie just mentioned it, and I'm going to reiterate, Jeff Bosie completely kicked ass on Friday night. The pictures are out there. I know the last time he performed with us, he didn't want the pictures out there, but this time was out of our control. People got the pictures out there.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's worth it. I hope you don't mind, Jeff, because the pictures are hilarious, just like you were hilarious that night.
He makes a beautiful bride.
Jeff was fantastic. You would we said this with the last show you did back in October. You would never know. You didn't know then that was Jeff's very first time ever performing with us. And even this time, because this time he performed with us playing a different...
Yeah, he learned 2 different roles in the last 6 months, right?
Right. So he performed in a different show this time. You would never know it. He knocked it out of the park. He got nothing but laughs. The only bad thing about Jeff Bosey, oh my God, does he sweat?
He is a sweater.
He's a big sweater.
Because he came back like several times just to catch his breath and wipe his brow and drink some water. And, you know, it's just a wedding gown. And he even...
Just a wedding gown.
It wasn't like a...
I'd be sweating like that, too, in a wedding gown.
But it's not like he was dressed like Nanook of the North with, you know, a big-headed
there were
costume.
several
It's
layers.
just a wedding dress.
There were several layers. They were, you know, the veil on his head. I mean, that's
But
tough.
he did. He turned to me. He's like, I don't know how you women do it. I'm saying this from deep within my heart. I don't know how you women do it. And I thought he meant like the shoes. He goes, no, just the outfit. I'm like, the outfit.
Shoes? What shoes was he wearing?
It's nothing. Just
He was wearing sneakers,
yeah, he
wasn't
was
he?
just
Yeah,
wearing
okay.
like regular shoes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he was melting. His makeup was like disappearing from his face. He was sweating so bad.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Right.
But yeah, there's photos on the Knockem Dead Comedy Facebook page. There's a quick video on the Knockem Dead Comedy Facebook page where you see an audience member lift Eric up in the air, which I got scared because he did it on the stage, and it's not a big stage in that room.
You thought he was going to fall
I
off.
thought Bolton were going to go tumbling off.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah. You have to be like you have to be willing to get manhandled by, because the people get so excited during the show. They just will pick you up. You know, it happens all the time.
And yeah, let me quickly mention the rest of the cast, and then we'll move on. But again, thank you for everybody for coming. A great night, really great night. And thank you to Governors. It was just a fantastic show. Again, sold out. Hard to move around, but we made it work. Great energy, just a great time. So thank you, everybody. And again, I'm just going to mention the cast. Linda Bartolomeo, who Jeff and I were talking about on Saturday night in here. Linda Bartolomeo, I've been working with her. The very first murder mystery I ever did back in the 90s, she was there. She's been doing this stuff longer than me.
I love her.
Yeah, I can't see myself doing this without her. Hopefully I'll never have to. She is the heart and soul of our troupe and the face of our troupe, and we've never done a show where people weren't walking out of there talking about her.
Yeah.
She is just...
And she gets to smack you around.
Yeah, which turns us both on, and even you, I think.
A little bit.
Liz Jeffrey, who's been on this show with us, if you guys remember, she was on like a year or so ago. She was the one that was adopted and then found out a couple of Christmases ago that she found her family. She turns out she was one of 10. I don't know if you guys remember that, but she's a part of our group. Greg Halverson, who's a great actor. I think he's our newest member, but he's been with us. Wow, it's got to be almost a year at this point.
Has it been? Okay.
I think it was last spring. I think he joined us. He did a super job. Greg, Liz, Linda, Jeff. Well, you did a super job as always.
Yeah, I just
managing
do sound.
us behind the scenes and handling the sound.
Yeah, because it's like herding cats. Let me tell you.
The only issue is a lot of people didn't hear the gunshot.
Yeah, I had the gun sound too low.
Yeah. I was trying to.
Yeah, I was bummed. You were trying to get me to do it again, but then just before I like loaded up the gun again to make the sound, I heard an audience member go, "She was shot." So I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave it."
Nah, she could have been shot twice. Nah. So, and then of course Eric Shevlin, who just nobody's
He's
as good as
always
Eric.
on fire.
Nobody is as good as Eric in this show, especially.
Right.
Yeah, he was just fantastic. Of course, you guys remember Eric. He used to be with us in the old days. Yeah, just nobody does it better than him. So it was just a great night. Thank you, everybody, for coming and being a part of it, and hopefully we'll get to do it in here again very soon. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com. Check out our upcoming show dates and what we got going on. Okay, so Jeff says, thank you, everyone. It was a really great time. I wasn't going to be able to stop the pictures this time. Oh, even Ozzy took one. Oh, I didn't know that. DJ says Jeff was great. Yeah, very nice.
Ozzy was like, it was like the end of the show, so all you guys were like getting dressed. I just thought it was funny.
Everybody's getting
I
pictures
don't
of
know if you know Ozzy. I guess he's like the bouncer if you do anything wrong.
He's
what
the
does
head
he
of
do?
security around here.
Yeah, but he's like big time. Like, I mean, he works as a private investigator. He's a big time, but he's like
no
this
messing
big
around.
guy with like blondish red crew cut, and when you guys all left, everyone was just they couldn't. There were so many people that they couldn't get out of the room to get going. So I just started throwing on other music, and so I did like brick house, and I look out to see if they like it or they want me to shut it off.
Was Ozzy dancing?
Well, yeah, because
I was joking. Really?
Yes, because I didn't know if the waiters would be like, "Please don't put music on. I want these people to get the fuck out." Or they're like, "Oh, good, nice music," because like everyone was like getting into the song, and all of a sudden I see Ozzy. He's like, and I was just so funny. I'm like, he loves that song, I guess.
You didn't get video? Or
Well, I was like looking through the window that I looked through, and I just like look.
I'd pay to see that.
It was so funny.
Jeez.
I'm like, look how cute he is.
Oh yeah, that too.
He's like a big mountain man.
Thank you to the staff here at Governor's. The waitresses work their asses off in this place.
Yeah.
And they're super accommodating. They're super nice. They're the best too, man. Love all the girls here. They're wonderful. Lily and Allie.
Allie rocks.
Allie rocks. Katie. Yeah, they're all just a great group. Ozzy's daughter. I don't know,
really?
I don't know her name, but yeah, she was working here that
Maybe
night.
I'm sure I worked with her. I just
you would
didn't
know her.
that they were.
Vinny D'Agostino's daughter works here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just great people all over the place.
There's I mean, the place runs so smoothly. There's hardly any turnover with wait staff.
Oh, which is a good, right?
I feel
Which
like
you've
we're
told me
just
that.
doing a big advertisement.
Yeah, I know.
for
It's a
an
big
hour.
infomercial for
let's
Governors and Knockem.
move on. It was a great night.
And then Saturday we were back in here for live from Governor's Green Room. Mark DeMeo was the headliner in Governor's this week, and he stopped by for a few minutes, not too long, but at least we got him for a few minutes, which was very nice. Good guy, very funny guy. Go check him out, Mark DeMeo. But yeah, it was kind of a crazy night in here. We've talked in here on this show that we've never met Terry McNeely, and he plays this place all the time.
Okay.
He's a traveling comedian. He came in, so it was the first time I met. He says that we've met before. I don't think we have. And he sat in this chair for a while. He ended up staying there for quite a while.
Oh, good.
And he's nuts. He's nuts.
I didn't go to the Green Room show, but
You
we'll
did
get to
not.
that reason later.
Oh, all right. Bosie, of course, was here. We had a lot of people hanging out. LaRocco and Austin Brooks and his brother Corey and Nick Wilkinson came by. Courtney, of course, was here. Shari Poland came in. We had a lot of fun. We had a good time. And I feel that there was something I wanted to bring up about the show, and I don't see it in my notes. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it was just we had a great time here as well. I think we're doing the show again this Saturday. I'll let you know tomorrow for sure. And speaking of tomorrow, LaRocco is coming in again tomorrow. Austin Brooks will be here, and Fat Jay. They're coming in tomorrow for Tuesday trivia. And that'll be a lot of fun. Because they did so bad last week, they actually requested what subjects they wanted us to cover. So we're actually going to...
They're kind of little
dumb.
Mr. Bossy Pantses.
They're
like, I'm starting to do trivia, and all of a sudden Tony's like, oh, we have topics that we have to cover. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because
But it ended up being fine. Yeah, I don't want them to feel bad about themselves.
Ken Freeberg. Oh, I don't care about that. Ken Freeberg is watching. Ken Freeberg, first off, happy birthday, pal. It's Ken Freeberg's birthday.
Yay.
Secondly, congratulations to Ken. I think we talked. Oh, you know what? I talked about it the other day with LaRocco. He's a big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
Okay.
And they have a brand new album out. Just came out this past Friday, just a few days ago. So
What's so special about their video?
Because in their brand new music video,
Yes.
Ken Freeberg's son is in it.
No!
Yes!
The cutie patootie with all the hair?
The cutie patootie with all the hair, the one that was in this studio with us, with his girlfriend, Addison, singing a song with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell was the name of their band?
I don't remember.
Ken, what's the name of their
But I
band?
do know that I like them both a lot.
They were fantastic. They were good guests, man.
And we don't like a lot of people.
We got to get them back in here.
He was really, really, really good guy.
We got to get them back in here before he, now that he's a big star, performing in Red Hot Chili Peppers videos.
Yeah.
But so congratulations to you guys on that. That's really cool. Really cool. So, so we've got a lot going on. So those guys are coming in tomorrow, Dan and Austin and Jay. And then on Thursday, we have Dan Wilbur coming in. He's a comedian. His first time in here.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. I love when we get new people in here, extending our family.
Yeah.
So Dan Wilbur will be in here on Thursday. That's going to be fun. What does that say? I can't. I'm having issues with my glasses here. Rose Colored World. Thank you, Ken. That's the name of the band. Rose Colored World, and they performed for us that day.
Mm-hmm. They were great.
And yeah, we used to play some of their videos and stuff. Yeah, they're really great.
Yep.
So go check them out. Rose Colored World. All right. All right, what are we talking about first? The Grammys or?
No, I can't wait anymore. I could barely wait through like a half an hour.
All right, take it easy. All right, which I do think might be the reason that my eyes are tearing up and I'm having issues with my glasses here. Go ahead.
You just stop that.
Go ahead. Explain yourself.
Okay, so as you guys know, I'm a dog walker, and I also I mainly board dogs for a living. Like when people go on vacation, they leave the dog with me, and it ends up being great. Like I love it.
I love it.
I do. I love it. Like
You do.
because I don't like put them in crates and stuff. They just sit on the couch with me like my other dogs, you know. And so like and I ask the people when they, you know, trust me with this, like, what's your dog's life like at home? Like what? Because I want to keep everything just so they have a great time, like a really calm time. And you know, however, I've had. I mean, the longest I've had was Fremder's dogs for 45 days. That's the longest.
That was a long time.
Like mostly it's like, you know, 2 weeks, a week, 4 days, even like a weekend. Like one girl that, you know, drops off her dog sometimes because she's young and she wants to go away for the weekend. And so it works out great. I love it. And I mostly have just regular clients. I mean, probably once every couple of months I'll get a new client, but it's just word of mouth stuff. But there's one family that I've been taking care of their dogs for a while. They have it's a golden doodle. It's a double doodle. It's like a
double doodle?
Yeah, because it's a Labrador.
I did that this morning.
You did a double doodle. It's a Labrador and a standard poodle mix with a golden retriever. And on one side, and then the dad is just a standard poodle. So that's what this dog is, and he's 4 years old. And
4 years old.
4 years old.
At 4 years old.
At 5 years old. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
So they contacted me a couple of weeks ago, and because I cared for the dog for like the last probably year and a half, right? 2 years.
Yeah,
just a handful of times.
Yeah,
but
whatever. Year and a half.
The dog. I mean, all the dogs have a great time. Like I love when a client comes for like the second time and they like pull up into the driveway and the dogs like they can't wait to get into the house. They're just so excited to be there. Like makes me feel like so good. You know, I get like misty eyed thinking about it because they do. They're so excited to like get into the house.
Such a nerd.
And because I love that they have a fun time because I got into this field because I used to hate to leave my dogs with someone else. I hated it. And so like I know how that feels, and you want to just go have a good vacation.
You hate it because you don't go on vacations. You just move.
I just move.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Hope not.
So yeah. So anyway, so this particular dog, I freaking love this dog, and I've like taken care of this dog a handful of times, not often, but a handful. But it's one of those dogs that when he leaves, you're like, for a couple of days, you just miss him. You know, I'm just like, I miss this dog.
Adam Snare says, sounds like a science project. Monster doodle.
Yeah. So anyway, so the lady called me and she's like, she actually texted me and she goes, you can absolutely say no because, you know, I know how big this is to ask. And I've gotten this question a lot, as you might imagine. You know, people pass away and they have their dogs, you know, so it happens a lot. But she's like, she has a 3-year-old daughter who's just completely allergic to this dog. And they've tried everything. They've tried everything since the baby was born. And now it's not any allergies, but now the daughter's starting to have like asthma stuff. And she's like, I have like a couple of other family members who I might ask, but you're like first on my list because he just loves being at your house. Like, but would you take him? And I was like, you know, because it's a big deal to take like, because he's like a horse, first of all. But he's so good. Like, he's one of the boarders that there's never any issue. He just is a good boy. Like, he he's fine. Like there's nothing to complain about with this dog. I just love him. So I said yes.
She's glowing and has an energy and an excitement about her that I've never seen before. She's talking about this dog more than she's ever talked about me or her kids.
I love this dog. And, like I was initially ready to say no because I say no all the time because I can't just take everyone's dog. I'll actually help you. I've helped people find homes for other dogs, but I can't bring them into my home. Otherwise, I'll have like 29,000 dogs, So
yeah, because we only have 5 now.
Yeah, so now we have 5 dogs. But before I said yes, I asked everyone in the household because it's a big decision and we all live there and everyone gets a vote and everyone, it matters. Plus, she asked me on Sam's birthday. So Sam loves the dog. So I wanted to make sure everyone else was okay with it before I told Sam. So, yeah, so we said yes. And I'm so thrilled. Like this,
so
you
said yes,
dog.
But you said yes on St. Patrick's Day, but you just got the dog this past Saturday.
Yeah.
It finally happened just 2 days ago.
Because she was so sad to give him up. So she's like, I'm thinking next week. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to bring him to the groomers and then we'll come up with a day. Like it was really hard for her to, but you got to put your daughter and her allergies. It wasn't like she just got tired of the dog. This like broke her heart.
I think it would have been easier to get the kid.
Yeah,
from them
and she says that all the time. Do you babysit? I'm like, no.
Oh, really? She's asked you to babysit her kid?
She's asked me like 9 times. Do you babysit? Yeah. I was like, no.
Yeah, Sallie hates people. She loves dogs, but she hates people.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to ruin my reputation of being mean. But like when I went over to her house to get the dog, like the grandmother was holding because they have a newborn now too, who's like 3 weeks old, and he's a little premature, which both my kids were. So like I walked in the house, I didn't even like verbally, the baby was like crying. And so like I walk in, I was like, and I immediately, I know the preemie dance. Yeah.
It's a boy?
Yeah.
Oh, so boobies.
Yeah. Boobies.
He was right up against boobies. That would make me stop.
Yeah, they always
Is that the
crying.
key? Should I just cry? And I get more of your boobies?
It might work. I'll like dance you around. But anyway, so I'm totally excited about this dog. So we have pictures. But one thing that Tony wants to say.
Well, all right, yeah, show the other picture. Save that for last.
All right.
Show the other pictures first. So, all right, well, as you show the pictures, tell them the story about, tell them about the name.
What do you mean? So we're thinking about changing the dog's name to
his name. What is his name right now?
Ludo.
Which is short for what?
Ludovic.
Why did they name him this?
It's the couple met another couple on their honeymoon and
yeah, they did.
Yeah. And they wanted to find like a cool different name for their new dog. So that's what they named him.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry, it already went.
No, I don't care about that. I'm just talking about the name. So
wait
a minute. They met another couple, so that's what they named them. I think you skipped something there.
What?
They met another couple. What? The guy's name was Ludovic, and this other. Oh, all right, you skipped that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
So they thought the name Ludovic. So they met this man. He said his name was Ludovic, and they were like, "Oh, that's the name." Right?
Yeah.
They already had the dog. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so they were
just
coming
weird
up
to
with
me.
the name.
All right.
So we're thinking about changing it to Mookie.
So yeah. So Sal. Well, why do you explain why we're changing the name?
Well, because
why you want to change the name?
Well, because I don't know. Like,
you don't like the name Ludo. You don't like.
I don't love it, and also like I've changed. I've been around a lot of dogs, as you might imagine. So in every rescue I've had, I've changed their name, and it takes about an hour and 36 seconds. Like it's no big deal. People were like, oh, they'll never, no, don't do that. But like, I don't think people realize when you go to get a dog at a shelter and there's a name on top of the cage that they're in, that's been there all year. They just bring dogs in and out. Like it doesn't matter.
I'm going to disagree with that because not all dogs are just found on the street. Sometimes people bring them in and they'll say, this is the dog's name. Because my dog, when I got, before I moved in with you, the last dog I had was Manny.
Yeah.
There was no this dog was not getting used to that name. He knew his name was Manny, which is why I didn't change it. He responded to that name.
Sure, but it doesn't matter. Like, I've had rescue dogs that have had the name for 5 years, and sometimes changing a dog's name helps them. Like, for example, like if you've named your dog, like let's say you have a pit bull, and because you think it's funny, you've named it Cujo or something. Like, as people approach your dog, they're gonna have that energy, like they're worried. But if you name your pit bull Daisy, it might change their whole life by how people look at them. So sometimes it's a healthy thing to change names
I'm
around.
going to disagree with that too. Unfortunately, people see a pit bull, they're just automatically.
But if you're like, oh, here Daisy, they're going to be a little bit like calmer than if it's named Cujo. It's true. So
I'm going to name him. All right, let's name him Hooker. Let's name him Prostitute. Let's
now
name
you're just
him
being stupid.
Let's name him Anal.
What the fuck?
Well, that'll put people at ease.
Disturbing in so many ways.
All right, but to your point, so yeah, you said we want to change the name. So I jokingly said Mookie because my favorite baseball player of all time is Mookie Wilson, formerly of the New York Mets. But you went with it.
Yeah, because he looks like a little Mookie face.
All right, you're saying he looks like a Mookie.
Here's Sam. This dog loves Sam. And then there's Jessie, who's going to be mad because Jessie hangs around with Sam too.
Jealous Jessie is her new name.
Oh, actually, Jessie's name, here's a good example. Jessie's name when I got her, Jessie's 12. When I got her, she was 1, and her name was Sarah.
Oh, really?
And Jessie is probably the best dog I've, ever.
I don't think you ever told me that.
Yeah. And I, in my house, there's Sallie, Sam, and now Sarah. It was like, no. So she actually looked like the Jessie from Toy Story. Like that, like coloring with the horse and stuff. So I just thought, I don't know, she just struck me as like Jessie. So I just named her Jessie. And she's been fine with it. Took her like 5 seconds.
Snare says he's renaming this show Harriet and Sal. Hello, Johnny Lambrose. All right, but now, so now you have a video too that you want to show. Do you have
the video didn't.
Is everything all right over there?
I pulled off.
No,
yeah,
I'm asking.
I know.
Oh.
I pulled off the video. It didn't work off of Facebook, but the pictures I just showed did.
Oh, all right. So we have one more issue with the name.
Yeah, because I actually call him this other name too.
Yeah, we might call him Mike. All right. So I'll explain. So show the one picture of Ludo.
Okay.
Okay. Now show the picture next to it. So that's a picture of Ludo.
Sorry, I didn't get it out yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
Well, all right, here we go.
So there's Ludo. Now, this next picture, well, yeah, you don't have to bring it in because there's a close-up in the next picture. So that's 2/3 of the band Genesis, which you guys know, Phil Collins, the Invisible Touch, Land of Confusion, That's All, No Reply at All, which we've talked about this already. But so there's a picture of the band Genesis. There's Ludo again. Now go to the next picture. The next picture. The next picture.
I know. I'm trying to find it. Just get off my back.
Well, that's why I said the next picture.
Just shut the fuck up.
You're like...
Just shut up.
You shut up.
You shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
So there's a close-up of that picture of Mike Rutherford, who's in the band. Mike Rutherford was also from Mike and the Mechanics, right? All I Need Is a Miracle and The Living Years. So, yeah, keep going back and forth between those two. We personally, I think this dog looks like Mike Rutherford.
So, and Tony figured this out, I don't know, 6 months ago we took care of this dog. And all of a sudden he's like, we're sitting on the couch and he's like, doesn't he look like Mike Rutherford? And now you can't not see it. So we actually sent the pictures to their owners and they were just dying laughing. And this isn't even, this picture of Mookie isn't even a good shot of it. Sometimes he looks so much like Mike Rutherford that I'll be in the kitchen. I'm like, hi, Mike Rutherford.
I was wondering if you're ever going to turn the phones on for the next
asking?
days you're in, Johnny Ambrose. Believe it or not, I'm no longer interested in doing those dumb calls, but others may want to call in.
He thinks we keep the phone off for him.
And then even Beansy starts talking about how he's got to go make lunch, regatta, mushrooms, eggplant, all ready for my tummy, and espresso with Sambuca. No need to let little me ruin your weekdays at Govs Radio.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with you.
It just makes me wonder, like, do people like keep us on mute?
Why?
Because they bring up all these things, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Oh, Beansy? Yeah, he's in his own world all the time, especially when food's involved.
Well,
maybe
true,
he doesn't
yeah.
like dogs. Maybe he's afraid of dogs.
Maybe he wants to eat.
And just
Ludo, Mookie,
talking
Mike
about
Rutherford.
dogs makes him nervous, and he has to talk about something else. But anyway, so we're happy to welcome him to our family. Yeah.
Oh. Sallie, I don't know. I sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. And this is one of those times where I don't agree, like where the phones are off. If people are going to call and talk about what we're talking about, then I'm all for them being on.
But if they're calling to just do their own agenda every day, then
Right.
No.
And we've decided that we're no longer taking calls that say private caller on the ID.
Yeah, if your name comes up, we'll pick them up. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah. Like, so if you want to talk about your dog or you want to help us decide on the name, sure. But
I think it's going to break these people's heart if I change his name, though. Maybe I can't tell them.
the previous owner, previous owners were like, that's why it took almost 3 weeks to get them, because they were like, they were not
I
letting
could
go of this
totally
dog.
understand. Like, they didn't want to. You know,
You
I'm
can totally
sure.
understand. Their daughter was
I know.
getting sicker and sicker.
I know.
Sorry, dog. I do love you, and I'm going to cry, but you're out today.
They tried everything. They tried everything to help this girl and keep the dog, but they couldn't. So I was really happy to step up to take him, because he's such a good dog.
He is a fun dog.
He's so good.
And he's big.
He's big, but he's not.
If he stands, he's probably around my height.
He's 80 pounds. There's nothing annoying about this dog.
He's got long legs.
Yeah.
He's got really long legs.
He loves to, run for a ball.
He loves
He's
playing
just
ball. Yeah, I like that.
really sweet and good. Like, even like I'll be like making dinner. He's like just like sitting there in his bed watching me. Like, he doesn't, it's not this like constant, thing. Because it is kind of difficult having like 5 dogs around when like Charlie, the white one, I can never walk in the kitchen without him under all of our feet.
Charlie's a dick. Let's change his name to Dick.
Yeah.
Here, Dick. Get out of the way, Dick.
He's always under our feet. Always.
How about Curly for a name, says Beansy.
Curly?
Curly.
I like Curly.
One of your sons said that the dog reminds him of Big Bird from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I forget which one of them said that.
Kevin.
Kevin said it?
Yep. But yeah, so I'm excited. So yay. Thanks for being so good about it, because I know we don't need.
Well, that's the thing. So that's where I'm.
5 dogs.
I don't know if you guys can see, but this eye is tearing.
Because Tony like played with the dog endlessly all weekend long.
So yeah, last night we were watching TV, and it just kind of all of a sudden around 10 o'clock or so, maybe a little earlier. I mean, all of a sudden my eyes just got completely puffy and irritated. I started getting a little stuffy. I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Oh, this is."
Because you were like
it's
way
allergy
playing with
time.
him. You were like wrestling and petting him, and you were like, your hand was like all over him, and I was like, "Oh, stop doing that," because you have dog allergies, but if you don't manhandle them, it's okay for you.
I went to the bathroom. I washed my face, but then this morning when I woke up, oh my God, it felt better, and I did. I struggled for a while last night. It took a good hour for it to go away, which is longer than usual. But then even this morning, my eyes were still watering. You would think I was freaking sobbing. They just wouldn't stop. And I'm putting my glasses on to do stuff, and like water's getting on the glasses, and I couldn't see. I keep taking them off. I'm like, "Rrr." So now I'm still like struggling.
Jesse will do that to you. Tequila will do that to you. Not the drink, the dog.
Yeah, there's a dog she watches named Tequila, a pit bull. Reminds me of my old dog Manny.
She's so good.
Dog.
I love her. But you're allergic to Jesse, Tequila, and now, Mookie if you're not.
Ludo, Mookie, Mike Rutherford,
Yeah.
Curly. So yeah, and I'm still struggling to get these glasses right, to get to see see across the room, I got the perfect spot because he's
Yeah.
with these progressive glasses.
You
But
have
now,
to,
like to read,
you have to tilt your.
to read the monitor here
You have
on
to
the.
tilt your chin forward a little bit.
Yeah, but the idea
I
of
know.
progressives
I'm just
is to
telling
just
you how
move
it
your
is.
eyes because there's, it's supposed to be the right
It
spot.
doesn't work because when you
right,
when
'cause
you
this
move.
is blurry, and I'm like, yeah, it's still. Yeah, that's a little.
Oh,
That's
I
probably
see
the
what
best
you mean.
I got right there.
Yeah, I see what you mean. How you're just supposed to move your eyes down. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Lobo, says Beansy. Lou Pratt says hi. Hi, Lou Pratt.
Lou.
Lou Pratt's performed Friday night at McGuire's, and then he was here Saturday night just to support.
Nice.
He was not on the air in here, but he did stop in here before we went on the air. Always good to see Lou and Brian, of course, too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm overdue. I need to go see Lou again in action.
Yeah.
Performing on stage. I've seen him once or twice, but it's been a while. And he's a very supportive guy. So
And he's funny.
yeah, absolutely. All right, now.
What?
So do you have Ludo, Mookie, Curly, Mike out of your system, or do you have more? Would you like to just stare at the picture
But
again?
that's
for
why.
a few
That's
moments?
why, like Saturday night, I didn't come to do the green room
Oh, yeah.
because I just got him at
Just
like.
got him today, and I just want to
got
keep
him.
him. I just want to hold him. I just want to.
just
want to. Oh.
I just wanted to hold him.
That was actually the reason. So,
I
of course,
know.
Andy, poor Andy, who comes in there every Friday and hasn't seen you on a Friday in
I know,
months.
and I love Andy too.
And he walks in here, and he went, I swear to God, just like this. He went, no, Sally? Just like that.
If I'd gotten Andy a couple of hours before, I would have stayed home with him too. It's just I just got. Oh, actually,
if you had gotten Andy just a few hours before.
Andy and his family came for 4th of July last year.
Yes, they did.
And Ludo was there then too, so he'd already met him.
So you're saying Andy should understand?
No,
Yeah,
no. There's no reason
Andy's
for me not seeing.
developing a complex.
There's no reason for him to develop a complex. I love him. I really like. Aside from the whole governor show thing, like Andy is like one of my like top
Boyfriends.
people in my life. Like I love him. You know, there's nothing I don't love about Andy.
But you love him so much that you chose a dog over him.
I know.
Andy's mustache just isn't enough hair for you. And this dog has 4 legs.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So yeah.
So that's why you skipped this show on Saturday.
Yeah. So it's out of my system. I
Andy's,
feel better now.
Andy's self-confidence is through the roof right now. Oh, we're both wearing black today. I just noticed. That just hit me. Except mine's KDC.
And mine is not.
Yours is not.
I
Yours
wore
is
that.
Spooky.
Actually, I wore that shirt Friday for the show.
Right. So did I believe. But it's been washed since.
I don't wash mine. I have different piles of. Does it really have to go in the
piles.
washing machine?
All right.
Is it really there yet?
So, as you talked about Ludo, Mike Rutherford, Mookie, Lobo, Curly, you showed a picture of him with Sam.
You're not going to pick on Sam.
Oh, I'm totally
Are you picking on Sam?
Yes.
All right.
I am picking on Sam.
All right. Okay. What about him?
So yesterday,
Yeah.
Sam had to take an online quiz for one of his classes.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning around 10 o'clock, Sally and I are on our computers.
You can't get him expelled, so don't tell everything.
I won't.
Okay.
But he was looking for some help with the online quiz. Well, if you know what I mean. But I said it at the time. First off, doing that is bad, of course, as we all know. Secondly, like it's one thing to do that in high school and junior high or middle school and elementary school because you don't want to be there. You don't want to take this stupid test on a subject that you don't care about. So of course you're going to peek at other answers. Good morning, Molly. Molly, hope you're doing well.
I thought you were going to talk about like him and like working with Zach or something. So you are going to talk about this.
Oh, you don't want me to talk about it at all?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam then climbed a tree and he took the test and he passed it with flying colors by himself and then everybody was happy. All right. You want to talk about
Good thing you didn't make it worse.
I didn't get anything that bad out.
I would just move on.
All right.
Okay.
You want to talk about the Grammys?
Sure.
Oh, you know what I didn't mention? Oh, well, this time. But you know what? The Lark tomorrow. There's nothing going on at Governor's, so go to the Lark in Northport to see a great comedy show. Tugboat Manny, Brendan Lackaruba, Bridget Kavanaugh, hosted by Tom Galati. Tim Saliani's going to be there, and your headliner is Neil Rubenstein.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Did I know that? Did that just happen?
No.
Wow, that's cool.
And yours truly. I'm somewhere on that bill, but I would go just to see Tim Saliani and Neil Rubenstein.
How many minutes do they give you?
I
You don't
have no
even
idea.
know yet.
I
Well,
don't
don't you have to know to go in?
Last time I was there, Galati was like, 5-10 minutes.
I guess you just have to be prepared for whatever they tell you.
I have a solid 7. I could probably go longer if need be, but honestly, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
So 7 is the norm. Sometimes people tell you 5, but with this amount of comedians, I would think 7 will be fine. And I'm sure Tugboat Manny and at least Tugboat Tim and Neil, I would think those.
When does it start? What time?
I believe it's 7:30. I think it's 7:30.
Okay.
I'm not even sure. But it's either 7:30, something like that. But yeah, I would think those heavy hitters would get more time. But Tom Galati's hosting, so he'll take some time in the beginning and here and there. But yeah, I'm happy with 7. Do my 7 and then go sit down. So yeah, looking forward to that. Little Lark in Northport, which is on the north shore of Long Island, just a little into Suffolk County. So it's like a half hour from here. It's going to be fun. All right. The Grammys. What'd you guys think? Did anybody watch? I know as we get older, people are like, ugh, I don't watch the Grammys. Oh, Mark Hirschman. There's nothing going on at Governor's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. No radio legend coming on Hershey and the Keeg Show. I meant the club. I was talking about the club. I'm saying if you want to go see live comedy, that Hirschman, I need to smack him in the face.
Yeah.
Although he's probably mad at me because
Why?
Because I did my little TikTok video today.
Oh, what'd you do?
I picked on him.
What part? Because there's a lot to pick on.
Well, I did the TikTok video outside where I stood in front of our new banner.
Oh, did you do that?
And then I panned the phone over and saw Hershey's face, and I went, "Ugh!" I go, "That's scary."
Okay.
And that was my whole video.
Oh, all right.
So tomorrow night, if you're not going out and you want to stay home, there is a great show on Gov's Comedy Club podcast. Hershey and the Keegs. Mark David Hirschman, Mike Keegan. Very funny guys. Last week they had Anthony DiDomenico. The week before that, Anthony Recker from the New York Mets.
Only Anthony's. So you can go on next week because you're an Anthony.
There you go. They have not had Carla Okerson on yet, which she's very upset about.
Yes.
I would love to do the show with them.
If you go on before Carla, they're dead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, now I think she might refuse because
Oh,
she's
it's like that. She's all passive aggressive.
I think so. But Mark, I know you're working on a special guest tomorrow. I don't know if that's definite. I don't know if you've announced it yet. But either way, go watch the show. Those guys are great. Very funny guys. Molly, no smacking. You could never smack as well as the smack heard around the world. Oh, she's right about that. Oh, we did that on Friday at the Murder Mystery, too.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? Because Eric and I planned it. We didn't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We were back here. I had mentioned it to him at rehearsal last week. I said, let's do this. He's like, yeah? I go, yeah. But then that rehearsal was Wednesday. So by the time Friday came along, we're back here, and I'm like, I think by Friday, I think people are sick of talking about it at this point. So I turned to Eric, and I go, should we do this? I said, I'm not sure if people are going to like this. He's like, yeah, I'm not sure either. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, we're going back and forth. So finally I just go, you know what? Screw it. Let's
do it.
Let's do it. So the way we worked it out, Eric was on the stage, and he said something about, my character's name is Dominic, and Dominic's married to Carmela. So Eric's character is named Brucey. He says something about Carmela. So I kind of make a face. He looks at me. I walk up to the stage, and I do this little, the move, where you move the feet and you come through with the slap, and the arm goes back. It's like a dance move. I don't know what this was.
Yeah.
But I did my best to attempt that. And I'm not sure if people got it.
Oh, really?
But then
They all laughed.
Well, then I walked off the stage, and I then turned to him, and I yelled, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!" And that's when they started to laugh. We got applause, and I was like,
yeah.
Then I felt better about it.
Sure.
And then I yelled it again, just like they did. And yeah, it got a big reaction.
Yeah, it's all current.
But you
It's
have
not like it happened 6 months ago.
But you have John Butera.
I don't agree with him.
You don't agree with him.
No, and
So
I
John
love
Butera
John. I think
did
he's
a
great.
show on Friday at McGuire's, and then did a show in the Giga Room on Saturday, and where he produced these shows, and so he told his comedians, do not bring that up. And on Saturday, apparently,
I don't agree with that.
On Saturday, it was an issue. One of the comedians had a bit planned.
Oh, who did?
He didn't say who it was.
Oh, okay.
But no, they had a little bit of a thing, and he said, no, you will not bring that up. He felt it would, because the incident involved somebody coming up from the audience and yelling from the audience, he felt it would then just encourage that type of behavior, and then people would be yelling and stuff. I don't know if I agree with him, but at the same time, I can understand where he's coming from.
Anything current is good.
Yeah, but I do think people are getting tired of hearing about this.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys did it.
So yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad it got a good response.
Anything that brings the audience, together in some current situation that isn't, because who really cares? These two millionaires fighting, like it's just light and funny. It's not like someone has cancer or something. It's interesting and fun, and I think that was good of you.
Why not bring it up? SNL did more than one skit on it, says Molly. Yeah, we saw a few of them there. They were pretty good.
How do you not?
Yeah. Yeah,
Someone
but
thinks have you been living under a rock for the last week?
Yeah, but SNL, that's actually a good point. While I do think some of their skits were well done, at the same time, I personally am not a fan of how SNL has become nothing but topical skits.
They've always been that.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have.
The Coneheads was a topical skit.
Well, they have their traditional things. They have their things that they're staples that they use. But you've never driven in your car and thought of something that currently is happening, and you actually say to yourself, "I can't wait to see what SNL does with this."
Yeah, but I feel they've gone too far with it.
No.
I think so. They've had so many different characters and skits that became famous for their originality. Name a current SNL skit that's original. An original character that works. You had the Wild and Crazy Guys. You had the Coneheads, the Samurai Chef, the Blues Brothers. You had all these various characters back then.
Yeah, but you don't know that they're not there. You don't watch Saturday Night Live every week the way you used to, so you don't know. Maybe they do.
But that's my point. You heard of them whether you watched the show religiously or not.
Yeah, that is true. That's totally true. But they've always done the
Wayne's
current
World.
thing of the week. They couldn't wait to do that.
Well, the news, yeah.
Yeah.
The news, but I'm
not
talking
just
about
the news, like a skit.
Yeah, but I do feel they do more of that than they used to. So you can't go back like 10 years from now. Nobody's going to give a shit. Or if a kid can watch.
No, they're all important stuff.
A kid can watch a Saturday Night Live show from the first season now, okay, and laugh at some of those skits. At most of the skits, if a kid 20 years from now watches, say, this past Saturday's show, they're not going to know 3/4 of the stuff going on in the show. They're
You're absolutely
have no clue.
right, but I'm saying that they've always done that. They've always done what's happening that week, always.
Yeah, but again, they've gone too far with it. I feel they do it too much now. Well, Molly agrees with me, so there.
No, she doesn't agree with you. She said they did two things.
She says SNL will never be what it was when we were kids, she wrote.
That doesn't mean she agrees with you. She just liked the old cast.
It will never be what it was. So that she's agreeing with me. Adam Snare, Sal, your opinion is wrong. That's what he wrote. So lame to take that topic off the table, letting the terrorists win, says Adam Snare.
I don't know.
And he wrote that in capital letters.
Letting the terrorists win. I don't know.
Take it easy, Adam. It's going to be all right. Mark Hirschman. I just saw the TikTok. Hilarious. It made me laugh. Thank you. And yes, the guest confirmed this morning. Steve Summers will be coming on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Is he coming in?
No, phone. Didn't he ask about a phone?
Did he ask?
I thought
he's going to be on the phone.
I think so.
Not a Zoom.
I think so.
Oh.
Because he asked if we gave a number out or whether I called the person. He was going to try to get their phone number.
Steve Summers. Now, did he retire, Mark? Did Steve Summers retire? I think he did, right? Or do I have the wrong sports radio guy? Either way, that's pretty cool. Steve Summers tomorrow on Hershey and the Keegs. Wow.
Is he related to Jamie Summers from The Bionic Woman?
He's related to Suzanne Summers.
Oh.
He's not.
Oh.
Tony, the staple classic characters. See, now I got to balance my glasses here. The staple classic characters often reference current events, like Wayne's World would address current topics. You're way off here. Oh, so now he disagreed with you, and now he's telling me I'm wrong. So
he became a little bossy pantsed when he moved to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letting the terrorist wins, meaning literally canceling a topic from a comedy show. Lame, lame, lame. They're calling Steve Summers at 9:15. Did you see the SNL skit with Elon Musk and Miley Cyrus? My son did that one. He was lucky enough to spend 45 minutes with Elon Musk showing him the computer on set.
Who's this?
Molly.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
her son's
I
been
remember
working
that.
on SNL.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Steve Summers is retired. A forced retirement, he says, Mark. Oh.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Explain yourself tomorrow on your show.
Yeah.
So I will definitely, that's the great thing about our shows here. You can watch them on YouTube when they're live, or you can watch a replay. I'm performing tomorrow night, but I will definitely go back and watch Hershey and the Keegs because I want to see Steve Summers. And I would just watch it later on anyway, just for Hershey and the Keegs, because they're so cute.
They are.
Well, it's John's prerogative if he wants to take that topic off the table. He's producing the show. And plus,
I don't know that it was a good call.
But you have to remember at least, I don't know how it is in other areas, but here on Long Island, when guys like Butera produce a show, they put a lot of comics up. John Butera, like the other night, I think they had 13 or 14 people in here in the giggle room. I can understand it because if I have an unknown caller, Etna Silverscript. Yeah, no. If you don't tell them something like that, I bet you're going to get 3/4 of them saying something about it,
Okay.
and that's overkill.
Sure, but like if you've got 14 comics up there, there's going to be 14 dick jokes too, but no one says anything about that. So
they kind of do, though.
Do they?
I mean, granted, John didn't go to them and say no dick jokes, but it is kind of common knowledge that, hey, all right, enough with the dick jokes.
Yeah.
So, and you have a lot of comedians too, where if they hear something,
they'll change it.
They'll change their own set, or if they know one of the comedians, or they know some of the comedians, be like, "Oh, you have that great bit about glasses. I'll skip mine tonight."
Yeah.
Or they'll say,
"Yeah,
look,
that's great.
If I don't do my bit on glasses, then I'm only going to have 5 minutes."
But if you
you not do yours? Like they'll
if
talk
you have
like
a
that.
new comic up there, they have their set, and they can't mess. If they're a new comic, that's a lot to ask someone who's practiced at home to like drop something,
Yeah. Oh, Molly's son quit SNL.
Why?
Right after the Elon Musk thing. Said the production is a nightmare. Oh my goodness. Wow. I've heard. I mean, yeah, I have heard that. I've heard that's why a lot of the big stars leave because the schedule is just.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you could do it for just so long.
Just let comedians do their thing. Do not tie their hands, says Molly. Rah, rah, rah. Wow. Well, speaking of comedy and speaking of the Grammys, guess who won a Grammy this week or last night? I bet you don't know. Well, lots of people did, but
I was going to say that a lot of people won. There's
in the comedy world.
One of them won 5.
In the comedy world.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. won. Very nice. Louis C.K. brought home a Grammy on Sunday despite having admitted to sexual misconduct and subsequently enduring almost 5 years in professional comedy purgatory. Louis C.K.'s album, Sincerely Louis C.K., beat out 5 other nominees, Louis Black, Kevin Hart, and Chelsea Handler among them, for Best Comedy Album. The comeback album was his first release since the 54-year-old was accused of masturbating in front of multiple female colleagues in November 2017. He's only 54?
Yeah.
He looks like he's in his early 60s.
Yeah, people don't age well.
Yeah. And, of course, Twitter users lashed out almost immediately following the announcement that he won, rewarding the man that makes light of sexual harassment and assault while having allegations levied against him. That was one tweet. The Grammys are a great reminder that cancel culture doesn't exist and no white dude has ever been successfully canceled for anything terrible that they do. At the time, I said to myself that, all right, so I'll wait. I was about to read a Louis C.K. quote. I'm sorry, but I'm going to disagree with these people.
Yeah.
First off, the guy tried to make right from his mistakes before he got caught. He took it upon himself. This guy he wasn't ousted all over the media and then went and apologized to these women.
Right.
He tried to right his wrongs. He didn't need anybody to tell him, hey, what you're doing is pretty messed up. And it wasn't fake, and it wasn't forced, and it wasn't due to a judge telling him to do it. Before it was public knowledge, he reached out to the women and said, hey, look, I'm really sorry for what I did. He didn't Cosby them and knock them out, for crying out loud. He didn't even touch them. You can argue whether he forced them or not. I personally do feel he did kind of force them, because these girls were afraid of what was going to happen to this powerful man if they said no.
That's the whole thing. That's what made him reach out.
That's where I was. That's where I was going with that.
All right, sorry, didn't interrupt.
So he did. So he realized what he did. He realized he did in a way force them, but we're not talking about a pedophile. We're not talking about a sicko that was drugging women. We're not talking about a guy that was even cheating on a wife, if I'm not mistaken.
No, yeah, he's divorced.
Right. So it definitely wasn't a good move. It was definitely stupid, but this isn't a guy that should be punished forever like Cosby deserves to be. Plus, when your crime is, I think it depends on the crime, depends on the time, it depends on your punishment. And I think that's the case here. This guy, he was in comedy purgatory, as this article says, for 5 years. I think that fits. For the crime he committed, I think 5 years. And professional-wise, in show business, he's still not back. I mean, granted, he won a Grammy. He's been touring. He's selling out again. He's been playing. He's played at Governors many times since, as he works his way back. The guy genuinely feels bad. At least that's the impression that I have. And I think most people. He genuinely feels bad. He's not doing it anymore. He's done the right thing, and he deserves a second chance. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. got many second chances, and he's had a happy ending. Darryl Strawberry. Look at all the people that get. I mean, granted, not all second chances work out.
Downey Jr. is what are you talking about? Just drug use?
Right.
Okay, this is different because he hurt other people, not just his own liver. But
but I think it's safe to say when you're on drugs, you're physically hurting yourself, but it does affect people around you.
Yeah.
So it's a mistake, is what I'm saying. You made a terrible mistake. You pay for it, and that's a perfect example, because he got a second chance because his crime was not that bad. He was doing drugs. And I'm sure there's people in his life that are still affected by his mistakes. But you're talking, at least 20 years now that he's been straight. He's been doing okay. You worked towards making things better.
Sure.
And he deserved that opportunity. He didn't molest a kid. He didn't kill somebody. He did something stupid.
Yeah.
Just like other drug users. Again, I mentioned Darryl Strawberry. People go to jail for tax evasion. Does that mean, they should never be allowed to go back to society. So some people deserve second chances. I believe Louis C.K. deserves it. I don't agree with these people, going on Twitter to constantly bash him for what he did. And I think it's great that he won. He's a great comedian.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic.
I remember like when this all came out, and he had written a letter to like the handful of women that this happened to, and he explained. He's like, the whole Weinstein thing was happening at the time, and he, it was like a lot. I think a lot of people, and especially there's a lot of people that just didn't understand the Weinstein thing, where you could just walk out of the room. No, you can't.
You can't.
And I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, I don't think a lot of people understood that. How I've worked so hard to do this for a living, and now this is my hour that I have to. It's a really difficult thing, and a lot of actresses lost their whole career because they walked out of the room. A lot of them, regretted staying. It's like an awful situation to put someone in, and I think Louis, in whatever letter he wrote, because I read it when it first came out, it was something to the fact that it never occurred to him. He was like, oh, did they stay because they thought I would influence their career or not? He was like, he goes, I was just messing around thinking some people like that, some people didn't like that. And it just like, it didn't occur to him. Like who's a really funny female comic who was like, cool, this is great. What's her name?
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I'd love to watch that. So hold on. So a lot of people, she didn't know. And so he took care of it. He was like, let me apologize to these people. Never even occurred to me that they might feel this way. And he took care of it. He didn't get outed. So it was just a...
Molly's disagreeing.
Okay.
Molly is saying that the only reason he went out and apologized... All right, let me read her comment, because I do agree with some of it. Where'd it go? Oh my God, Tony, stop. He knew it was going to come out. He just beat the press. Beansy says I need to be bitch slapped. Well, if you ever showed up in here, you would get that opportunity, Beansy. Molly says, sorry, disagree. In that biz, they get second and third and fourth chances because they bring in money. I agree with that. After time, no one in that biz cares about anything but the money that talent will bring in. That's the part I disagree with. Louis C.K., first off, I don't think he just beat the press.
No, I don't at all. He started it.
And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe Molly has... Maybe she knows more about this topic than I do.
Yeah, if that came out because we followed the court case pretty closely. If that came out where he's like, oh, yeah, I knew it was going to come out, because I never heard that, and no one ever said that as far as I heard, and I read it all.
And I thought we're talking like at least a year after he apologized to these women that it came out publicly.
No, I don't know.
It wasn't a year?
I don't know about that.
Close to it, though.
I don't know.
Right.
I'll say what I know for sure, but I don't know about that.
It still wasn't that close. Like, he didn't apologize, and it came out 3 weeks later. Like, he knew something was brewing.
Right.
But to say that, and yes, in that business, people get second and third and fourth chances because they bring in the money. I understand that. But that's not the case with Louis C.K. The guy disappeared for at least a year. He wasn't going on the talk shows, I'm sorry, what I did was wrong, and I'm devastated, I'm going to get therapy. He didn't do, the 2020 Dateline hour-long special like Alec Baldwin did. He disappeared. And so he didn't cash in on it. Even his accusers, really, there weren't that many of them going on TV cashing in on it. He disappeared. And then he didn't didn't make a comeback by going to Madison Square Garden and cashing in. He was coming here because and again, it was after like a year or so. He was working on new material, trying to make his way back, doing it slowly and quietly. I just disagree in this particular case. He just didn't do that. And the guy just seemed like he was genuinely ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
And of course, Beansy agrees. He says he seconds what Molly Molly says. He doesn't even know what Molly Molly said. He can't read. I thought it was good that he won.
Yeah.
Also at the Grammys, I thought it was cool how they gave some time to the what's his name, Telesky, what the Ukraine leader? Something like that.
Zelensky.
I think it was nice they gave him some time to speak. I thought it was cool. Lady Gaga, who had a nice classy move at the Oscars with Liza Minnelli, and then here too, nice classy move. They had a video of Tony Bennett, who was not in good health, introduce her, and she came out and sang some Tony Bennett songs.
Yeah,
got a little teary at the end.
I was really liked her.
Yeah, she's classy,
and she's so talented.
Silk Sonic opened the show. Man, those guys are good, man. Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars,
right?
Bruno Mars, and some other guy.
Yeah,
but they're a good band, and they kicked ass. That was a good opener for the show. Those guys are good. You know, I enjoy. I like the Grammys because they do spotlight a lot of music, and they do have a lot of performances. So I like it for that reason. Not a big fan of most of the music that they spotlight.
We're old now.
Yeah, pretty much. But there's still some cool moments like...
We're like our parents. Like, where's all the big bands?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, like Gaga, she did a nice job. But then they have moments where they have current artists playing with some older artists, like the woman, the girl, she calls herself Her. Man, she is a talented girl. She can play that guitar, man. And then she brought Lenny Kravitz out, who's, you know...
I love Lenny Kravitz.
You know, the parents. What'd you just say?
I love him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
More than Ludo, Mookie, Curly, Lobo, Mike?
No.
More than Andy Plajanos? If Lenny Kravitz was coming in here on a Friday, would you show up with him?
No.
Ooh.
Not if I had just gotten a dog hours before. Even if I'm boarding, I'm kind of strict about that because I mean we live in a house with a handful of people, and they all know how to care for dogs. Like, I feel really lucky. Like, my sister, you know, lives with me. She's a vet tech, and she was a dog rescuer for many years. And so I feel like that the dogs in the house are in good hands when I leave for a few hours. But when I first, you know, when a dog first comes over, unless I've like watched them 1,000 times, I like to hang, you know. Because I love my job. I do.
So yeah, Lenny Kravitz did a nice job with her, and that guy Baptiste, John Baptiste. He's the band leader on Colbert.
Oh.
I never really cared for him much on Colbert.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really? You didn't?
Yeah.
You didn't realize who that was?
Well, yeah, we were watching the video this morning. I'm like, God, what do I know this guy from?
Oh, I didn't realize you didn't know who that was.
I didn't know his name. We're fine here. It's just that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a big. I don't like him that much on Colbert.
Good video.
But his music he's been putting out is good. And I like that song that he won for.
Yeah, good.
Freedom. Yeah, I thought I think I like him.
Freedom. That's nothing like he sings.
No.
Buy the album.
Please
don't let me ruin his life.
Yeah. Please, and play it. Just put it on whenever you see Sallie heading towards the microphone to sing. Yeah. So I thought it was all right. The Grammys. It was okay.
Okay.
It's all right. Always happy to see Lenny Kravitz. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too. Well, he was on Better Things for a few episodes. My favorite show with Pamela Adlon, who actually Louis C.K.
That's right.
Was the executive producer for a while.
You love the show so much you have not yet seen this current season.
I know. I want you to put it on a disc. Put
Why?
it on a disc because I want to be able to play it when I want to play it, not like go off of your computer.
Oh, so I can come home and say, "Oh, I just watched it."
Yeah. Well, I like to watch them afterwards. So I want it on a disc, please. Come on.
All right. Well, if you're nice to me.
Always.
All right. Last thing I have before we say goodbye.
Is it that time?
Almost.
It's Mookie time.
Just about. So I have the photo.
Oh. What photo? Is this?
Yes.
What is
this? So don't show it yet.
Okay.
So in Southern California, there was a guy who was sitting on his couch and for some reason just had a feeling something was not right in his couch. He gets up, lifts up the cushion to find that. A 7-foot snake in his couch.
And someone's videoed?
No, that's a picture of the guy who, that's the guy who caught it.
Oh, not the guy on the couch.
No, that's the guy that was called to come get the
Because I'm like,
snake.
why would he grab it by the tail? Isn't it going to like spin around and bite him?
There actually is video, which I don't have, but there is video of this guy, the guy that caught the snake. He's, in fact, that.
I haven't changed it.
There is video where the snake does snap at this guy, the guy that captured the snake. This guy, he's a professional. I don't know his name or his company, but
his name's Snake Man.
Snake Man, bum bum bum, Snake Man. But yeah, he has a snake, and the thing kind of snaps at him and he kind of grabbed his shirt and kind of pulled on it. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the type of snake, but they did say that it's not poisonous. But still, I mean,
yeah, if it's just like a long garden snake or something, then
if I lift up my cushion, I find that, I would freak the hell out too. Yeah. They don't know where it came from. They don't know who owns it. If anybody owns it, they don't. Now, you tell me, is Southern California a place where you would commonly see those things?
It depends on where. Like, if just along the coast, I would say no. But if they're in Palm Springs or just Southern California?
That's all I have. That's all. The article I read just said Southern California.
Because there's a lot of desert around California. Yeah.
In the southern parts too?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was something. Can you imagine just standing up, lifting up your couch? Ah!
Yeah.
What would be worse for you, that or a snake or a mouse?
One time, the little plastic pools that you let your kid play in the yard. I had it, over, turned over, and I was living in Palm Springs at the time, and I lifted it up, and there was like some type of, they call it like a desert dragon.
Was that a snake?
It kind of had the same shape as a chihuahua, but it was like a lizard. Like the head looked like a dragon, and it was like a lizard. And I opened it. Yeah, I
what's it called?
I forget the name of it.
Oh.
But I lifted it up, and I actually went, and it went, I just like closed it, and then I left it, and then about a couple hours later, I like lifted it with a stick, and it was gone.
Sure you weren't high?
Yep.
So a lizard with the face of a chihuahua.
A body of a chihuahua. It wasn't like
the body of a chihuahua, but a snake.
Yeah, it was like
what?
Yeah.
So how does a snake and a chihuahua look like mixed up?
I'm just saying, like the not fur. It was just like it wasn't like a lizard on the ground. It was like up, like a chihuahua, like some dragon weird thing. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, and I think I talked about it just recently here, where years ago when my son was still like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or something. He was playing in the backyard, and my mother was out there watching him because I was sick at the time. And it's an eel, says Beansy. That's what, in the picture or what Sally's talking about? I think he's wrong on both ends. Yeah, my mother. So yeah, I was sick. My mother's outside and she's on the deck. Our deck was elevated, so she's looking down on the ground where Zach is just playing in the grass. Sammy's on the swings. Zach's playing, and she thought it was a toy he was playing with, and she's like looking. So she went down, got a little closer. She's like, "What is that, Zach?" And he's like, "It's a mouse." She thought it was a toy, but as she got closer, she realized it was a real mouse that he was playing with. It was dead, but yeah, he's got it by the tail and he's just swinging it around. Like, holy crap!
Do you not buy your children toys that they have to play in the backyard?
It's not like the mouse was going to bite them.
Dead.
Oh, you're talking about that other story too with Sammy, where she was playing with dog poo in the house because we didn't know it was there.
What happened in your house?
Well, I didn't know it was there. The dog pooped. One of the dogs pooped in the kitchen, and she was little. She was like maybe a year, So So yeah, it was like one of those things. Like, where's Sammy? You walk into the kitchen, there she is, just poking at the poo, and she's laughing. And she's like rolling it. I was like, oh no, yeah. We hosed her down and neutered her, sprayed her, neutered her.
You got your daughter neutered.
All right, I'm gonna stop talking. All right, it's 12:30. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Look at this. She's all excited. She's still looking at pictures of her dog.
Our dog.
That's going to be my bed soon, so that Ludo, Mookie, Mike, Lobo, Curly, who's going to be sleeping next to you on the bed.
No, he's so good he just sleeps in his bed. Anyway, bye.
You say that about me?
No.
Tony's so good. He just sleeps in his bed.
He just sleeps in his bed.
Today is Monday. We got Steve Squared coming at you at 6:30 tonight. The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve at 8 o'clock. Some good stuff tonight. And then Sallie and I are back here tomorrow for Tuesday Trivia with Fat J, Steve LaRocco, Dan LaRocco. I always mess up this poor guy's name. Dan LaRocco, Austin Brooks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like I'm forgetting to announce something. Oh, real quick. January 14th, next week, next Thursday, we have a special that's going to be on. I think it's 7:30, I believe it is. You guys have seen on this show, you've seen our pals Josh Schaefer, and, of course, the one and only Mark White of the Spin Doctors.
Mark White?
Mark White. The two of them, if we don't really get into it with Josh on this show, but if you're friends with him on Facebook or if you've ever seen anything he does on Facebook, he's a very political guy. He has a lot of opinions. And he leans to the left. And then you have Mark White, who's very opinionated and very much to the right. But they're friends, and they've worked together a little bit, and they talk. So they're going to do a special next Thursday where they're just going to talk about their political beliefs. And it's going to be peaceful, and it's going to be nice, and it's going to be civil, we hope.
Sounds like it's going to be loud.
It'll most likely be loud.
Okay.
Molly says, miss you. We miss you, too. Beansy says he's going to go stuff his face. So, yeah, don't miss that next Thursday, April 14th at 7:30. Josh Schaefer, Mark White, and I believe I'll be sitting at the desk putting this all together. So that'll be fun. So join us for that. And, again, join us tomorrow for Tuesday Trivia on Knockem Dead with Sallie and I and our friends. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you later. Thanks.